Good evening, and good evening once again. Hi, hello. My name is Pebbles, executive news producer for Missing, Lost, and Traffic and Lured, Lost, and Unsolved. I thank you all so very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to tune in to this live stream today. I would love for you to begin sharing this live stream, of course, with your family members and your friends. I would love for you to share this live stream with any missing person groups that you are a part of at this time. I would love for you to continue on with sharing this live stream with any unidentified missing person groups that you are a part of at this time. I would love for you to continue on with sharing this live stream, not only with unidentified missing person groups, but crime scanner groups, community groups, and any groups on Facebook, on Instagram, your social channels connected to various platforms that you manage that would be interested in. And we're just going to do a little chat in the night and listening to a very special guest that will be joining us as she discusses why, from her research that she's gathered, certain parts of Tucson, Arizona should be searched in connection with 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's disappearance of Tucson, Arizona. Nancy Guthrie is the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, and she remains missing as of March 13th of 2026 following her abduction from her home in Tucson, Arizona on February 1st of 2026. Let's talk about the latest updates as of March 13th. Motive identified. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano stated that authorities now believe they know the motive behind the abduction, though he declined to elaborate to maintain the investigation's integrity. Let's talk about a targeted crime. Investigators strongly believe the kidnapping was targeted rather than a random act of violence. Let's talk about a public warning. Sheriff Nanos warned that the suspect absolutely could strike again, advising the public to keep your wits about you. Now, let's talk about new evidence. The FBI recently recovered additional images from security cameras at the home of Nancy Guthrie. Wow, these don't show the night of the abduction. They show individuals in the yard in the days leading up to it. So these cameras show individuals in the yard in the days leading up to Nancy's abduction. Now, let's talk about restaurant investigation. Agents have been questioning employees at El Charro Cafe, a local Mexican restaurant where Nancy and Savannah recently filmed a segment looking for suspicious individuals who may have been watching them. Let's talk about an abduction timeline. At 1:47 a.m., a doorbell, and this is as of February 1st of 2026, camera at Guthrie's home was disconnected by a masked and gloved individual. At 2:12 a.m., motion was detected by the smart home system. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app disconnected from her phone, suggesting she was removed from her home at this time. At 12:03 p.m., family members called 911 after she failed to attend a church service. Now let's talk about a suspect description and reward. The suspect captured on doorbell footage. The individual is described as a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", wearing a ski mask and a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. The Guthrie family has offered a $1 million or up to a $1 million reward for information leading to Nancy's safe return. Ransom demands. Several sophisticated ransom notes demanding millions of Bitcoin have been received by media outlets and the family, though at least one was confirmed as a hoax, leading to a separate arrest. If you have any information that you could share regarding circumstances surrounding Nancy Guthrie's disappearance or the immediate whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie, you're being asked to please contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or 1-800-225-5324. That's 1-800-225-5324. I repeat, 1-800-225-5324. Tonight, there will be a guest joining me tonight. Her name is Jennifer. She has conducted a lot of research into the circumstances surrounding Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. And she's been analyzing multiple suspicious social media posts connected to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance and learning more and more about the individuals who have published these posts, trying to figure out their true intentions. She's been working diligently and trying to unravel a lot of the, I'm going to refer to it as coded phrasing, coded wording, unraveling those coded words and phrases that these individuals have published for the public to view online. And so I thank her for being here. And I would love for you, Jennifer, if you would, go ahead and click on the link that I provided to you so you can join this live stream and we can have a chat about what you uncovered, because you've uncovered a lot. A lot of this it seems to be very much complicated in terms of, explaining what was uncovered and its relevance. And I thought I could try to do that, but it would have been best, because you uncovered these things, for you to explain. And that's what I told you. I need you to explain this. It's difficult for me to articulate, even though I do feel that there is some relevance. And yes, I believe it needs to be checked out and investigated and all of those things, right? So I'm going to go ahead and definitely wild stuff. I want to add you to the stream right now, Jennifer. So I'm adding you to the stage, and I believe we see you on the side. It's really small in terms of the frame around you, because I want people to see what you'll be referencing. Now, what I have here, can you hear me, Jennifer?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What I have here, Jennifer, is a screenshot from someone, we're going to say Mr. Hernandez out of New Mexico. We've done enough digging to know that this gentleman is out of New Mexico. A screenshot from, it's just one of several screenshots that you've taken, that I've taken, and others have taken or collected of really odd posts that he posted online. And so this post, it discusses coordinates. And what I would like for you to do is, if you have those screenshots in front of you and you want to just read them word for word and kind of break it down and what you believe he's saying versus what you found, you have the floor at this time.
I don't know if I can see them while on this. Can I do that?
Okay. Okay. Yes.
I can. Okay. Let me. Do you still see me while I'm looking at them?
Okay.
Can you see me?
I see. Well, you turned it off. It's okay if you turn the camera off or around or something. Can you see it now? Okay. I think she left by accident. Let's see. All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. We'll just have to go by your screen, but I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty simple how I got there and how I can explain it.
Okay.
So, this guy posts this, and a lot of people, chitter chatter, that, this is a backyard. Well, I'm like, well, let's just see where it is. So I put in the coordinates, and it's not exactly a backyard, anybody's specific backyard. And so I'm like, okay, they said that she is, 47 feet down in a lead room. And all this sounds crazy, and it might be, but I'm like, let's just Google and not Google, let's search records and find out if there is any structures with like deeper basements. There's permits where people have, brought in equipment. I was thinking along those lines, but then it hit me as I read what the amount of work it would take to make a secret room or something like that. So I said, what if these coordinates, if the other guy that brought them up, that's telling on these individuals, wasn't in the exact place, but really close coming out, perhaps, maybe within a few feet. So I said, within, I think, 50 feet, I sent you the message. I was like, within 50 feet of these exact coordinates, is there an underground structure? And lo and behold, 0.63 of a mile, there is, not on maps, current maps, but there is a cave that's well deeper than that. It's not surrounded by lead. That's not the right mineral. It's a different type of mineral where you could not Bluetooth or her pacemaker, as he talked about, be picked up. But within 0.63 of a mile of these exact coordinates is this cave entrance. And you're like, well, that's just ironic or coincidental. Probably not when it's in the Catalina foothills and within 2 miles of her house.
Right.
So then I was like, oh my God. So how does some random guy come up with random coordinates to the Catalina foothills, and everything fits? I mean, it may be nothing, who knows? You know as well as I do, when you're a mandated reporter, you're not the person that sits and talks about bad stuff and hope the right thing works out. You have to tell. I mean,
Yes.
you have to do that. And so I actually messaged my FBI friend. He's a client of mine, and kind of ran down the specifics. And his exact response back was, did you report it? Yes, I went to the FBI. I'm done with, the sheriff is no longer over the investigation. So I reported it directly to the FBI. So that's how we arrived at this place, of these coordinates. I just don't know how somebody could get that close to a cave entrance. And so the cave entrance has 2 hiking trails that are very popular. But like I said, if you were to go hiking in the Catalina foothills and search for caves on Google, you're not going to find this because they've capped most of them. However, this one has not been capped or imploded. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's still there, still open. People could go to it now. I don't suggest it. Um, but that, and it's a pretty smooth trail right up into the entrance. It's number 410 and 411.
Okay. 410 and 411. Would you like to speak to anything else that you noted, that you found odd, that you found striking about? Even we'll start with the wording, the way the post is worded, all the way down to what you were learning in terms of the proximity and the area of this. It's a mine. So people want, let's help the public get a better understanding of this area, if this is an area that she actually is at. Like, what, I'll let you weigh in on all of that.
So the Catalina foothills are pretty big, and there's many neighborhoods. So let's say like you have Ashton Manor neighborhood, and then 2 streets over is this neighborhood. You have several of those subdivisions in the Catalina foothills.
Right.
Now, the subdivision touching the Catalina foothills actually has mine shafts. So in like 1902, underneath Catalina foothills, they mined that area extensively because it was so rich in minerals. So underneath there, there's lots of cave arteries that are very small. And then you have what you would think of as a chimney. That's how they ventilated it for these people going into the Catalina foothills underground. And then you have an actual entrance to the cave, which is what is 0.64 miles from the Catalina, I mean, 0.64 miles from the coordinates that Mr. Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez gave it, but then his friend also
Okay.
spoke on it, which y'all found out that information. I don't know if it was you or Doug, but that y'all led me to this fellow. And the two people speaking about it and knowing where she's located are Facebook, um, they're on each other's Facebook. And these are not 20-year-olds. These are, 40 and 50 between 40 and 50 years old. And people ask them, "Did you report it to the FBI?" And then a girl chimes in that, no, I don't know I don't remember who she is. And she says it's funny they're looking in the South because that's not where she's located. So it seems very odd. And so the Thrones to Theorem guy that we've talked about all this time, that we don't know exactly for sure who it is, talks a certain way. And we figured out that he's using a dead man's account, and that there's two people using this Throne to Theorem's account, one
Right.
that's not as educated and one that's very articulate and out there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this this okay, Arturo is not the one that's as articulate as the other guy. The other guy is very, very articulate
Mm-hmm.
and speaks in almost like parables or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't recommend doing this, but I private messaged him and
Mm-hmm.
struck up a conversation with him. And he was out there. You seen those messages?
Right.
And
Yeah.
he sent me a few more messages talking about the tree of life. And even something more weird I noticed on his Facebook. I don't If you go back and look at this, during the
Mm-hmm.
time of this kidnapping, do you know the background is set as a desert setting? Did you notice that?
No, I did not.
Go back and look, and it's the exact amount of like a week leading up and a week after, and then he changes it from the desert.
Wow. Okay. Hmm. He changes it from the desert. It was the desert formerly was his profile, right?
As he's posting his parables, where you
Uh-huh.
can like make your little background be whatever, a week leading up to the kidnapping and a little bit after it, he makes it the desert. Why, I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
It did
That's
catch my eye because it had
interesting.
a cactus in it.
Wow. Okay.
So is this the guy? I don't know, but this guy has an incredibly bad rap sheet.
Okay.
Um, a lot of times, guys with this bad of a rap sheet don't keep the same names, or
Right.
they take parts of names.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks to a missing person and references it to black sand, which was a horrific thing that happened at the border.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Hispanics lost their lives and were only able to be identified through DNA. So
Mm-hmm.
there's some political innuendos to black sand and why this happened. The guy that actually, he says, does this.
Right. Hmm.
He kind of fits the
Okay.
profile.
So I think it's odd that you got two people, of course, a lot of people, including even the FBI, unfortunately, they can be narrow minded as well, would possibly chalk this up as just people trolling. However, you got two brothers. We know that they're related. We've done enough research to know that they are on each other's, at least they're listed as being on each other's family tree. So you got one Hernandez man out of New Mexico giving coordinates leading to an area, a mine that's what, 1.6 miles away
Point
from
64, not 1 point,
uh,
0.64.
0.64 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home. Now you got one Hernandez man doing that, right? He's doing
Mm-hmm.
this publicly for the free world. He's breaking these coordinates down, right? Then you
Yes.
got another Hernandez, which we pretty much determined using common sense and looking at their family tree. They have all this stuff listed. It's not. They're not like trying to cover up anything in terms of their connections. We see that, oh, this is the brother of the guy that's listing the coordinates. Well, the brother of the guy listing the coordinates, or Tiro, is saying she's buried not too far from her home. This is the brother in the desert.
And then
There
there's
are
a
three
third female saying
suspects.
they're, yeah, looking in the wrong area. When they're in the south looking one day, they're like, they're looking in the wrong place in the south.
Right. And I don't have a screenshot to show of hers. So I'm going to refrain from speaking about her
I'll
as
try to
much
send it
because,
to you.
yeah, I don't have that for people to see when she says to them, you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking, she said, you're looking in the south. And where should they be looking according to this other person who just chimes in this conversation?
We only have the coordinates. That's it. But, and
Okay.
this is not the age of people, or they've got 5,000 friends that they're trying to, do something. This
No.
is a small group of individuals that one is very articulate and his mind is way out there. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't think they're wanting attention. This guy really don't want you messaging him. He pretty much told me stop messaging him. So I did, because I think he's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. And so he's saying, or the brother is saying, she's buried not too far from her home in the desert. There are three suspects. Like, this is pretty detailed. There are three suspects in this case, two men and a woman. But unfortunately, not all three will be brought to justice. May this lady rest in peace. Now, this I did look at some other information from his profile. I didn't gather that he was a psychic. I don't get channeling vibes. That's not even his lifestyle. He's a pretty chill, live life the way you live type of guy. Both of them seem to be that way, really, to me. There's nothing that I don't even see that they have had prior interest in missing person cases. Like these type of cases, this isn't what you get from them. So it is really odd. That's what makes it even more striking to all of a sudden be weighing in on Nancy Guthrie's case. The one guy, the one that's saying she's buried not too far from her home, he posted that comment directly under news coverage, directly under a news article Like he went to the publication's Facebook page. I can't remember exactly which one, but he goes directly under their comment section, underneath a post they made on Nancy Guthrie, and he's intentionally making his comment. And I'm like, for y'all to be people who, I don't get they've been following true crime cases. This is not something that they're into, is what I'm driving home. This is not even the theorems guy. He's a philosopher. I pay attention to that, means a lot to me. I want to know what their prior interest has been, right? In terms of what type of news they follow. I pay attention to those things. What is the conversations like? What is it that they typically talk about pre this moment of Nancy Guthrie going missing? And if there's just nothing that lines up to that they would be remotely interested in any case like this, why all of a sudden out of nowhere these various people, you got the Hernandez brothers, they're giving coordinates and talking about where she's buried, okay? Then you got Thrones and Theorems. He's saying there's 4 people involved. He's the only one in this country who knows. He's putting that in quotes. I tracked this person down and learned, oh, well, it's a guy using possibly his brother's account, but he's extremely intelligent, highly intelligent, but he's really into philosophy. He's into science. This is what he's into. He's into conspiracy theories and documentaries, and none of his work is surrounded around missing persons at all, or his interest. So why are they out of nowhere saying these things? Like, you have to think about why are these people, you see what I'm saying? Why are they just out of nowhere they just want to hop on Nancy Guthrie's case now? Think about it. And they want to break down these things on the internet when I'm not seeing any history of trolling. I'm saying I want to see off the wall comments in the past.
So here's how I think they're connected, and I have not found a way to prove it yet. So all this part is now going to be speculation. So Doug had found a guy on River Road, and we've got our other lady who went and checked out this place. It's one of those, what are those big silver campers called? They're real expensive. They travel. Airstreams. Okay, so she goes there, and we're thinking that this guy could be our suspect. And turned out this guy had been arrested in Tucson, not far from Nancy's house, jamming a bar's, I guess their internet. He was arrested for it. I mean, it's news you can go read. And so I'm like, okay, this guy has no money. Like, he don't own property. And so the girl that we had investigating over there wanted to go up the driveway because it was part of the deed. So I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to get in trouble. The main construction owner of this company lives on top of the hill. His scoundrel little brother that Doug located lives in a airstream at the bottom of this, and he has air jammed, or what? I mean, not air jammed. What you know what I'm talking about? Jammed, been arrested not that long ago near Nancy's house. It's a construction company. So I'm wondering if this scoundrel that lives so very close to Nancy on River Road, and these guys could possibly have worked construction together. If that's how, now this is all speculation here. I'm trying to figure out if I can put those two together. And then we have somebody that's been arrested for jamming near Nancy's, that lives near Nancy's anyway. Now the construction company is like A1 business, preferred the brother. He seems to be like a good, honest guy. Maybe it's his cousin, not brother. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. That lives at the bottom that can't keep himself out of trouble.
Okay.
So Doug's angle plus this, if we can tie those two together, boy.
Right.
It would take like a lightning strike for this to not be it.
Right. Connected somehow. For neither one, it's like, all right. How much are you willing to bet that one of these people, whether it's the Hernandez brothers or our thrones to theorems person, which we're pretty certain who he is, but we're not 100% certain, but we have some ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, we'll just call him Angelo, right, for now. How much you willing to bet in terms of one of those people being involved? Do you think that none of these
Angelo's
men
the one that
are
lives at River Road.
right? Yes, 101 River Road. Yeah, absolutely. That's the address that pulled up. I just didn't post it that way, just so I don't want to get accused of like intentionally trying to like
Do you
get
want
the
to talk about
person's.
what she found out there the day she went out there that was pretty scary? Did she
Okay,
tell you what she found?
and when you talk about she, everybody needs to know what you're talking about. She is a
I
who.
don't know if she wanted me to share
Okay.
her name, so I'm not going to.
You don't have to. So
She's one of
someone
our
went.
people. There was a pair of khaki pants and a bedspread
Okay, explain. People need to know what you're talking about. So back up so
at
they can
River
know
Road.
what's the relevance. Who? All right, we can't
We
say
don't know
who
if
went
it's
out there,
relevant.
but you're saying someone in Tucson, so people can because we got a
One
bunch
of
of
our
people
group
listening.
members that
Yes.
investigated went there and did not go on private property,
Okay.
found a bedspread and clothing.
Okay.
We don't
Did
know if
that
that's
person
connected or not. It's scary.
call the
Yes,
Tucson Police
absolutely.
Department?
Yes.
Did they collect it, the items? Do
I
you
don't know.
know?
I don't know. I haven't
Okay.
been contacted by the FBI.
Okay. So you're saying that there was say it again, what was found?
A pair of khaki pants and a bedspread. But I'll tell you, another guy found that in a wash near Nancy's house today, too. So, I mean, obviously, there's khaki pants, which are worker pants, and bedspreads around Tucson in washes. But that was there on, I mean, nobody, the way this property is and who his brother or uncle, cousin, whatever he is, you just would not, nobody, you would just have to directly be pointed there to ever go there to
Okay.
this river road. But homeless people, she was going to try to talk to some homeless people, do stay at a corner. So nobody needs to go there, but
Yeah.
it's business. And then it's like an abandoned parking lot, not parking lot, because it's all dust and dirt. And you don't really have a road leading in, but it goes eventually turns into a road of this address. And then up on the hilly mountain thing is the main address for the construction owner. So, like, you would have no reason to be in there. That's why homeless people are staying there. It's kind of not suspicious looking. It kind of is tucked back off of River Road.
Right. Okay.
And we've
Hmm.
got pictures of that we may can send. I just need permission before I share it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, was this person the person who found those clothes while going to? And if you go to 100 West River Road, I know that it'll just lead you to the road. That's why I posted. That's why I put go search over here because I wasn't trying to just post someone's exact address out there for random people to show up at somebody's house.
And that
And
trailer moves. It's been moved and moves because it's an Airstream. It's something that relocates because Google Map has it not too long ago gone.
So so the trailer that I seen on Google Maps, at least that was sent to me with it was the someone took time to send me a photo of the exact address. They kind of figured out the address basically. They're like, she don't want to get in trouble for
Yes.
it's a wording for it for just putting someone exact address out there and then a whole bunch of people go over there like harassing a person, but they pretty much use their common sense like, oh, I see what Pebbles is on. So they looked it up and they sent me a photo of a trailer And they knew what I was talking about, the address. And there was a white SUV in the yard. Is that what you're talking about?
So it's an
To the
Airstream.
address
It's
on
that,
River
yeah,
Road.
it's a metal. So when you say trailer, like in Alabama, people live in those and they like ground it to the earth. You know, it's not movable for all intents purposes after you set it. This is an Airstream. This is what you see like in California. People, they're like $80,000 and they travel around in them. They're like a metal bullet trailer. That's what it
Okay.
is. And so these things travel. They don't, you wouldn't live in them for very long if you even lived in them. But this one moves. And what else was I going to tell you about it? Oh, anybody probably investigating, even in Tucson, people that's, you know, been arrested for jamming things is going to immediately pull up this guy's name and address because it's the most recent one. So if y'all want to go Google or Grok, it's going to take you right to this guy and his arrest. And his address is that address.
That address of where
101.
we uncovered, right, the last known address of Joseph Angelo.
Who
I don't
is
know why
dead.
yeah, but I did find out, even though he's deceased, I did find out in additional research that was sent to me that I was able to verify. There is a relative that is a female relative of him who formerly lived at that address through, I believe, December of 2025, who has a very lengthy arrest record. So I did find a connection between him and someone who's very much alive and living in Tucson, Arizona. The house was recently sold between December and January to other property owners. So I did want to also explain that much as well. I was able to find, oh, there's somebody that was living in the trailer, at least on paper, related to Mr. Joseph Angelo Monera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Related to him, that's his full name, who is a grown woman that has a very lengthy arrest record for lots of different things, who lived at that 101 address. Not right now, because the house was, I keep saying house, the trailer was recently sold. So what am I saying? The person who posted using Thrones to Theorems YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Is a real person, and I already had suspicions that it had to be someone that's a close family member or an associate. And I believe more than one person is using his former social media accounts of Joseph Angelo Monera, right? So
Who's
even
been
though,
arrested for jamming radios in Tucson, who's a scoundrel according to his rap sheet, and works for a construction company that has excavating. And so so I don't want to make references to the owner of this company because his record's impeccable, but they have about 8 major projects going around the Tucson area and just outside of Tucson.
oh, okay. But this person is not connected to, we want to make sure everybody have a clear understanding. The person you're talking about is of no connection or relation to Joseph Angelo Monera, correct?
No, he is.
Okay.
He's either his uncle or his brother. I think it's his brother. I just can't remember off the top of my head which one it was. And let's
Okay.
just say the name of his company is 2 letters, very popular in Tucson. It's not hard to get to, but he does not have any kind of record or associated or his business. The only bad association he has is that he has a family member that's using Angelo's account that's rotten.
Right. And the family member that's using Angelo's account is the same family member who posted in JLR's chat saying that he knows that there's 4 people connected to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. And that's the same family member who has also stated using Angelo's account. Mind you, y'all, Angelo has been dead since 2020, September 2020, saying he's the only one in this country who knows. He's the same person who also is using Angelo's X account, formerly known as Twitter account, right?
Mm-hmm.
He used that account to own up to what he did. But by owning up to what he did, this same person said I was screen recording when I made that comment about knowing 4 people being involved. He also said that his buddy was right with him when he made that comment. He also said, y'all probably think the neighbor did it. It was a lot. Like, he didn't just say, hey, you caught me, I was trolling in JLR's trap. It's
He
the
didn't even
other
have to
things that was
respond to
said
you.
as well. It's a lot that was said along with that, which I've showed the public, and I've posted it for the free world to see. It's out there. Just scroll down. That's all I can tell you. Scroll down and go to my photos. If you want to see what I'm talking about, just go through my photos, and I have posted screenshots that connects to everything that we're talking about right now in this very moment. It's
And
there.
then we got the map. So if the cave, in
Yes.
fact, has anything, and it may not because one says buried in the desert, the other, gave coordinates. The easiest way out from Nancy's house was the exact route they were talking about. And from that to the entrance of that cave, I think y'all have to check me, is 2.3 miles driving that the route that you would go to be least detected and
Okay.
avoid all cameras. So Grok can, if you have an address, tell you, they can look at all the traffic lights and all that and tell you which is going to be the most undetectable way. And that's like 2.3 miles from Nancy's house.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. All right. Okay.
Everybody that's hearing this that's interested can, just starting with those coordinates and working backwards and who posted them, can arrive at all this. And if you worked the theory of Thrones to theorem and couldn't hardly put it together like I did until Doug got down to the person, you can work all the way back down to Angelo and it being this construction guy. Now, the only thing we have not done yet is tie those 2 people directly together. Not that we can't tie them to being around Nancy possibly, but working together. Are they the suspects or do they just know?
Right. You have people that I believe just know what happened for whatever reason. One of these people who are making these blatant comments about where her body is, how many people are involved, they're making hints, giving you hints that she's probably not in the country.
And they tie it to a political event at the Mexican border that really happened.
Right. Like, who takes time to think all of this out? Who? That's what I was saying to you the other night when we were on the phone. I was like,
You about had a
okay,
breakdown.
I know people are psychotic. I get it. I understand that there are people come on my page all the time that don't have it all, and they say something, and I block a lot of people. I delete people because when it's just like random out there, you just saying anything that has nothing to do with nothing. Like, I'm not entertaining that. I understand.
Lord, if you listen to JLR Live, you about want to block everybody on the internet.
Right. So Heather is saying 8572 some, looks like she's just tagging some people. Okay, and Alexander's able. I'll get back to what I was saying. I was just trying to see what she was saying, but it looks like she's trying to tag these people. All right, so
I begged people to go. I started saying, please go check this area. And they just laughed at me. They said, you're not talking to nanos. I showed them where I was talking to nanos.
Yeah.
I showed them the stuff, and people just don't believe it. People did not even think they could search, and this whole time they could search. And you've seen that open up this week. People are searching.
Well, that's because I'm looking at a tweet that was tweeted by Sheriff Nanos. He said this weeks ago that he did not want people searching and he wanted people to leave it up to investigators. I'm just summarizing that. I'm just rewording. That's the best way.
But then you read his email and he's like, I've got 400 people on this.
Yeah. Well, he blankly said it. He couldn't be any clearer, but he made a tweet and he clearly said, I don't want it. I took a screenshot of it. It's there. he's not the type of person to take something and, well, I'm not gonna say he's not the type of person that would say something and take it back. He hasn't taken his tweets back. He hasn't deleted his tweets. What he said is what he meant, and he kept it that way. When he said he preferred for people not to be out there searching and to leave it up to the investigators who didn't even have enough sense to go around the entire neighborhood thoroughly and talk to
Or take the
everybody.
MAT, or call the
Right.
FBI immediately, or
So
whatever.
he literally did blatantly tell people this. And also the women who came out of Mexico, they traveled from Mexico. I don't know how far into Mexico or from Mexico they traveled. I know that the closest place to Nancy, closest state to Nancy would be Nogales, right? Which is what?
It seems like they were from that area.
Right. 50 miles or 60 miles or give or take an hour, hour 30, whatever to get there, right? From Nogales, Mexico to the front door of Nancy's home, right? He discouraged those women after they drove from Mexico. Those things really did happen. Well, I can tell you what really did happen. I really did watch Brian Eaton, Jennifer, interview someone, a representative from the United Cajun Navy. I know what I really did see. Let's talk about facts. I'm watching the episode in live color in 4K with him with the United Navy Cajun representative saying that the sheriff refused to email them back or give them a call back when they had submitted a 41-page document, a plan of action on how they were going to go about helping with his leadership searching for Nancy Guthrie, and he still refuses to this day to respond to any emails or calls, voicemails, etc. from United Navy. I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. From
No, I think everybody knows what you're saying. But
yeah,
you
you know what I'm
plainly
saying.
read
Right.
the email that
Yes.
I think he. Well, for one, he's now being investigated, and he's had. I just wrote him and said, "Look, a lot of people are invested in this, and they just want to help. You read it, and he's always been super polite when talking to me, or short, not short as in ugly. But I guess those women, they basically smell for dead bodies. Some people might take that as a joke, but when you're from different regions and you're not around, some people are born with olfactory heightened senses. They can smell things that other people cannot smell. And
Right.
so I'm not surprised that a group of women that have a high success rate in finding people, they might have a very intense olfactory. It's just something hereditary about their blood. That's not weird. Now, psychics, I'm not down with the psychics just because I'm more fact than, I have a little bit of trouble with that, but that's me. But I don't know. I guess I don't have any much more useful stuff to say. But everything I've said tonight is not I made it into this or I tried to make it that. It's straight fact. You can find it. It's not even that hard to get to.
Right.
And you might have to think creatively. So when it said underground in that post, I was thinking dug shelter, basement, but I had to rethink what could be that deep, and a cave, and there's tons of them in Tucson. And so lo and behold, 0.63 miles. So you might have to just change the way you're thinking if you're not finding answers, but I encourage everybody to keep looking. This might not be anything to do with anything, but the answers are out there. And if there's more than one person, if you're going to kill somebody, you don't want to talk to anybody and you don't want to have a second person. So.
Right. Absolutely.
And we do. So, it's just a matter of time before they're caught.
I hope so. That's if this case have not been compromised to the state that it looks like it has. And
it may not be prosecutable.
It's been compromised for a number of reasons. I'm trying my best not to be too critical of a certain law enforcement official or superior out in Tucson.
I heard some DA stuff too about how the DA should have been there the entire time as well, and they were there 34 days in or something like that before they ever
Right.
seen their crime scene and things had already been moved. The first thing you want to do, they say, I mean, I don't really know, is have whoever's going to prosecute that crime there to see everything and be able to
Right.
go back, which is one reason you wouldn't have, turned it back over to the family.
Right.
And
Yeah.
now we have all these changes made to the house and many more people through the house. So I don't know if they'll ever be able to prosecute this case.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be challenging, even if during our lifetime any suspects are ever arrested. Prosecution will be challenging. Prosecuting Koberger was challenging, even though a knife sheath was found with a fraction of DNA on it. For multiple reasons, prosecution was a challenge. Right? I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole at all, but I'm just saying, even in that case, it was super challenging. And I'm sure that the prosecutors were grateful that he just decided to take a plea deal, because I don't know how successful they would have been otherwise. Not saying they wouldn't have been successful had he not, I guess, done that, if that makes sense. But it's going to be super challenging in this case because there were a lot of obvious documented mistakes that were made. On February 2nd of 2026, the crime scene being released back to the family. And then, I would say a few days or a day after that, however, I'm just estimating, the crime scene
What do
becomes
you
a
think
crime
about those
scene again.
dates?
So, yes.
What do you
What you
think
say?
about the dates that's been coming out on the paperwork for Nancy being reported, when the dates were on official paperwork?
I haven't seen it for official paperwork. I haven't seen an official missing persons report for her. I mean, I just know what the police have stated in press conferences.
I can't
And
see the
what
page to see if anybody's saying anything. Has anybody else seen it?
I'm looking in the comments. No, nobody's talking about that right now. Somebody said be critical. The guy is useless. But you can continue on.
Well, that's about all I've got. I had to mentally take a break from this because after trying to figure out who to get, I said I didn't send it to the police, but I did too send it to the police. I sent it to the FBI first, and then I tried to get it in groups in Tucson to go look. But I mean, nobody. I mean, you can't even report something on JLR's page. It goes so fast, nobody's paying attention.
No,
I don't know
yeah.
how you get somebody to go do anything when there's. But I did see today, and I want to make this point for people if they're listening from Tucson. There is now an organized page and group where they're doing grid searches, and somebody's keeping up with it.
For Nancy Guthrie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They
I need
didn't
to know
name it.
about that.
It's not attached to the sheriff. I didn't see what group that it was a group, but there's somebody has started it. I will try to tag your page back in it and go find it. That's very valuable to know what areas people have searched.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
anyway,
Hmm.
well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. I hope everybody double checks me, triple checks me, and finds something to put those two people together, or discredit it and us move on. Whatever. I just want to find Nancy.
Right. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for weighing in. I do appreciate you being here and all the research that you've done. You've done a lot of research.
Thanks to Doug.
And
Thank you. Oh, I gotta do something, Pebbles.
yes, absolutely.
Happy birthday to you, Doug. I can't sing, but happy birthday. If it wasn't for Doug, we would not even be down this far with all this. But happy birthday, Doug.
Happy birthday, Doug. We certainly appreciate you. We appreciate what you've brought to the table. And none of us claim to be FBI agents or
Or can
anything
sing.
like that. But we certainly appreciate it. I believe that you have definitely helped to uncover something huge. Now, it will be up to the FBI and up to the powers that be to actually dissect what you have, connected, and, see what they can make of it or not make of it. But you've done an excellent job. And I told you that, you have the skills to be an FBI agent. I don't care what nobody say. That's just where I'm going with that. But happy birthday to you nevertheless. And I thank you so much for your support.
All right. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night.
I'll let you get back to your night.
All right. Night, y'all.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So we certainly thank Doug. Happy birthday to Doug. I'm going to go ahead and just in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and I'm sending hearts and likes right now. Hearts and likes to Doug for Doug's birthday, because I can't send balloons. I don't think I can send balloons to Doug, but I'll send, let me do it again. Likes. Likes and hearts. Thank you. So in a nutshell, what's going on? There are more than one relative directly related to Joseph Angelo Manera, who is currently, based upon background checks that we've completed, living in Tucson, Arizona, who may be responsible for the comment posted in JLR chat. I was able to track down these individuals to an address that Joseph Angelo Manera used when he was alive. That address is 101 West River Road in Tucson, Arizona. I don't want anybody to go there, harass anybody or anything like that. I'm just being very transparent right now, okay, on the actual address that pulled up for Joseph Angelo Manera that other family members of his have been using and formerly residing at. Okay. All right. I would say in the aftermath of his being deceased or dying, so to speak. What am I saying about Joseph Angelo Manera? No, I cannot say that Joseph Angelo Manera is the person who made that disturbing comment in JLR's chat, because Joseph Angelo Manera is now deceased. He's been deceased since 2020. I can say that I have proof, meaning I have actual screenshots, I have conversations, all of that I can prove that someone very close to Joseph Angelo Manera has taken over his YouTube account and other accounts associated with him since his passing. And that someone or someone's is responsible for making that post, that comment in JLR's chat, saying that they know that 4 people were involved in Nancy's abduction and that they are the only one in this country who knows. Now, I was able to leak that someone that is closely connected to Joseph Angelo Manera to Phoenix, Arizona, physical addresses, and I was able to leak that someone that is connected to Joseph Angelo Manera to 101 West River Road in Tucson, Arizona. I went into Google Maps, finding out that address is approximately 7 minutes away from Nancy Guthrie's home, located in the Friendly Village Mobile Home Park. Now, that's that for Joseph Angelo Manera. Now, there are other posts that 2 brothers with the last name of Hernandez made that are also equally troubling. What am I saying? There are other social media posts. I'm not going to connect it to Joseph Angelo Monero or the people I believe that are connected to him, because I have no trail that I found to connect these people together. But I'm going to mention the other posts because the other posts are important to mention that have been posted by two Hernandez brothers. Their last name is Hernandez, out of New Mexico. One Hernandez brother took time to do some math and actually post coordinates in a comment section underneath a news article published about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance that leads to a abandoned mine. Yes, there are mines in Tucson, Arizona. One is considered to be hazardous, and Grok will warn you and AI will warn you not to go over there. Okay. The others, there are homes that have been built on top of those mines. So the coordinates that one of the Hernandez brothers claim will lead you directly to Nancy's body is to an abandoned mine that is less than 2 miles away from her home. The other Hernandez brother made a post saying that Nancy, he makes a declarative statement saying that Nancy is buried in a desert nearby. Okay? Declarative. He declares that she's buried in the desert nearby. He also takes time to talk about the number of men and females involved in Nancy Guthrie's abduction. And he also takes time to write RIP to Nancy in that comment that he made. That's the other Hernandez brothers. So what do you have with the Hernandez brothers? Both gentlemen from New Mexico. With the Hernandez brothers, you have them boldly and blatantly giving coordinates leading to an abandoned mine. A mine that's been around for a long time but is abandoned. Pontatoc. Sorry if I don't pronounce it right. I'm saying Pontatoc. Mine. Saying her body is there. And then also saying, the other brother is also saying, oh, her body's in a desert nearby. And they're giving these extra details about who's involved. And they have no history of having any interest in any true crime cases in the history of their Facebook profiles. That has to be looked into. It can't be overlooked. It can't be, they're just trolling. It needs to be search warrants being gotten at this very moment to figure out, using their Facebook accounts and anything else connected to them, phone, etc., where they're gone, where they traveled, where they were between January 1st and February 2nd, because January 1st and February 2nd, though that's over a month. Okay? Of interest in terms of what the FBI is saying. They want anything that they can find in connection to this case between the dates of January 1st and February 2nd. They've stated it in black and white. This is what they're looking for. And even before January 1st, if the FBI was really interested and really trying to find suspects that are truly connected to this case, they've already stated that the person is more than likely someone who lives in Tucson, because we know that based upon the searches that were carried out. Whereas the FBI is saying there were searches coming up in Google Trends, people wanting to know information about Nancy or Savannah, right? From someone or some individuals who were right there in the city of Tucson, Arizona. So we could just use a lot of common sense here on saying it's very possible whomever is connected to this crime has to be individuals who have spent a significant time, even if they are currently not living in the state or residing in the state of Arizona right now. They spent a significant period of time in the city of Tucson, Arizona. It's not a wild claim or theory to make that sort of determination. It would be outlandish to make that sort of determination. Okay? And with that being said, since it wouldn't be outlandish, it wouldn't be irrational based upon what the FBI has already released to the public to say that more than likely than less likely, whoever committed this crime had been, I'm saying had, we don't know where these people are now, in Tucson, Arizona for a period of time leading up to the crime that was committed between the dates of January 31st and February 1st. It wouldn't be outlandish for me to say, wait a minute, FBI, we got one guy who we tracked to a mobile home park 7 minutes away from Nancy's house in JLR's chat talking about 4 people involved in him being the only person that knows in the country. Then, on the other hand, FBI, we got the Hernandez brothers boldly posting coordinates to where Nancy's deceased remains are, according to them, in a mine in Tucson, and boldly saying she's in a desert nearby. So I don't think it would be an outlandish request to say, hey, y'all need to do what? Start getting those IP addresses, getting the search warrants, and putting in the request for any social media accounts connected to these individuals, phones, otherwise, and begin tracking every place they've been, right? Via their digital and social media footprint. That's the least you can do. Starting as far back, at least from January 1st, all the way up to February 2nd, and then make an announcement and say, hey, those strange comments that y'all saw from those individuals, we have properly investigated all of the individuals in question, and we have determined that they're neither persons of interest or suspects at the time in this case. It is not an outlandish request to make. And it is not outlandish or ridiculous for me to say that you should be considering doing those things. Y'all, I got to catch my breath. Thank you. The BD97 is saying something about the coordinates come back to, I think you're saying Tucson and Rio Rico. All right. You know what? That's all I have to say about that tonight. Pebbles, executive news producer. We need the narrow-minded insight to stop. Please stop being narrow-minded. Okay? That's all I beg of you. Stop being narrow-minded. FBI, let's not be narrow-minded. So we don't want this to be a cold case. We really don't believe the sheriff when he says that they're getting closer. I just don't believe it. I'm not believing it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. But until you prove me wrong, I'm going to say y'all are being extremely narrow-minded, and this case is becoming just the most frozen case in the history of cold cases because of the narrow-mindedness that we have going on, mentality. Open your horizons so y'all can get these suspects. Pebbles, executive news producer, missing, lost in traffic, lure, lost and unsolved. For now, signing out. Bye-bye.